could this plugin change the industry? Yes, today we're talking about Dehancer, a film emulation plugin for Premiere Pro, After Effects, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut, and even your phone. So I've been experimenting with Dehancer for a little over 2 weeks, and I must say I'm impressed with it. Now, when it comes to installing Dehancer for Premiere and After Effects on Windows, it gets a little complicated. There's this README file, and if you don't read it, you might end up installing the wrong version on your system. To sum it up, if your GPU supports CUDA, which is any NVIDIA GPU, install the CUDA exe file. And if your GPU supports OpenCL or any AMD GPU, then install the OpenCL exe file. For my desktop I needed CUDA, and for the framework running integrated AMD graphics, I needed OpenCL. So the easiest way to confirm this is open up Media Encoder or Premiere and see what options you have available. You can see here for my desktop, CUDA is the only option I have, so I'm going to install the CUDA exe file. So while film emulation isn't quite my thing, being able to get a nice film look is really handy. Now, the best part about Dehancer for me is that you can take a scene shot on 4 or 5 different cameras and you can grade it with a film look to look the exact same. For example, this scene here I shot on my iPhone 12 Pro and my Canon R6 in C-Log 3. So I added Dehancer to both of the clips, which is really simple to add. Once you've installed it, go to your effects controls in Premiere or After Effects, search Dehancer, and if you've already activated it, drag and drop it onto your clips. So for the Canon camera, under the Input tab, I selected the Canon R6 with C-Log 3 as that's what I was shooting. I then put my film look in, adjusted it to how I like it, then I copied it over to my iPhone's footage. I changed the camera input from the Canon to the setting I was shooting on my iPhone. I then adjusted it to equally match the R6, compared it with the Lumetri scopes, and just from there I went from this scene which was shot on my iPhone 12 and Canon in C-Log to this, which you cannot really tell the difference. Now, it didn't take me too long to do this, but I had the cameras matching quite nicely. This is because when it comes to matching other cameras with Dehancer, the plugin supports a range of cameras and profiles from Sony, Red, Canon, DJI, Panasonic, Arri, and a few more. Now, Dehancer might be the way to go because if it's cheaper to buy Dehancer's plugin with a 10% discount if you use promo code CDMSMotion, then maybe Dehancer is the way to go. Now, for me, I really like that I can easily match 2 or more completely different cameras with a film look, but more importantly, I like that I can easily and quickly add a film look to any footage I choose. Also, if you really like grainy footage, then Dehancer's grain emulation is also really great. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, Dehancer isn't just for professional editing software, because you can also get it on your phone, which is really handy for adding a film look to your Instagram post or your TikTok reels or whatever. And I mean, I kinda like it on the phone. It's very smooth, it's easy to control. The app comes with loads of built-in presets, so I selected a preset, adjusted it accordingly, and I ended up getting a film look from this to this. It's pretty handy for on-the-go editing, and you don't have to carry around a big bulky film camera and wait for it to get developed. So let's talk about some of the negatives. Where Dehancer falls through the cracks for me is that it's not quite optimized for integrated graphics. With Dehancer Pro you can activate it on 2 PCs at the same time, so I installed it on my desktop along with my framework, and it started really bad on the framework's Ryzen 7 CPU and its integrated graphics. So, is Dehancer just a film emulation plugin that you just drag and drop onto a clip and call it a day? Not really, because you can adjust the ever-living shit out of the plugin. This includes the vignette, film grain, damage, overscan, bloom, the list goes on. Dehancer Pro has loads of film stocks for you to choose from, and even my favourite, Kodak Gold 200. Something that should be noted about Dehancer is that they recommend applying it at the end of the processing chain or at the end of the stack. I spent some time scratching my head because Dehancer mentions that no lumetri effects should be applied to the clip. But in many cases I found Dehancer to look best once I've already converted it from my C-Log to Rec 709 and then going from Rec 709 directly within Dehancer to the film look. In most cases I didn't quite like the look Dehancer produced converting directly from my Canon C-Log, so I would correct and grade my footage and then add Dehancer directly from Rec 709. However, I was very pleased with the look when going from Red RAW and converting that to Dehancer's film look without grading or correcting the raw footage before Dehancer. Now, I was very pleased going from Dehancer's C-Log to the film emulation once I've experimented and played about with the plugin for a while. I think this is the only case where the Dehancer plugin looked really nice without color correcting it prior to Dehancer. Now, there is still some things that I would probably do before the Dehancer plugin, maybe decrease the highlights or increase the contrast, but this is the closest thing I've got to something I'm happy with without correcting it before Dehancer. Now, while Dehancer's film emulation plugin is really good, realistic, and super nice and easy to use, is it really the way to go? Well, firstly, if you want a film look on your video, film, or whatever, is it really that much more expensive to shoot on actual 8mm, 60mm, or just any film for that matter? I mean, Dehancer values its plugin at £500 for the lifetime license, and that's the pro version of Dehancer. Now, I am no expert in film or shooting on film in any way, but depending on your use case, if you just need a one-time film look, then would it be that much more expensive to shoot on actual film and get it developed? I mean, I don't know, but for those who are looking for a film look, it might be something you could consider. So that pretty much wraps up this video checking out Dehancer's Pro film emulation plugin. Of course, this video is sponsored by Dehancer, which means you get a 10% discount if you use promo code CDMS Motion. Of course, I do get a 10% commission if you decide to use that promo code. Now, Dehancer has had no say in what I said about their software during this review. They have not reviewed it prior to publishing, and I've been asked to give a honest review, and I cannot really find anything really negative to say about this, besides from I don't really use it in After Effects because I just don't see the point. And if you're wondering what promo code CDMS Motion means, well, that's my production company. We film adverts, documentaries, gigs, and just about anything else you can think of. You can check out the website in the description as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I might see you in the next video. And I'm gonna finish my coffee because I'm just